The Rebellion of Korah, a story of pride and consequences. This is the story of Korah and his rebellion against Moses and Aaron, and it's a story that teaches us about the danger of pride and discontentment. Korah was a man from the tribe of Levi. He was one of the leaders of Israel, a man who held a position of respect. But despite his status, Korah wasn't happy. He saw that Moses and Aaron had a special role. Moses was the leader, and Aaron was the high priest. And Korah began to feel like he deserved just as much power, if not more. He didn't want to just be a leader. He wanted to be in control, to have all the honor and respect that Moses and Aaron had. So Korah, along with Dathan, Abiram, and On, stirred up trouble. They gathered 250 well-known leaders from the community and went to Moses with an accusation. They said, "You have gone too far. The whole community is holy, every one of them, and the Lord is with them. Why then do you set yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" Korah and his followers were basically saying that Moses and Aaron were abusing their power and acting as if they were better than everyone else. They didn't realize that Moses didn't put himself in that position. God did. Moses didn't want to lead, but God called him to lead. Moses didn't make himself the one to speak for Israel. God chose him. But Korah couldn't see this. His pride and jealousy blinded him. Moses, deeply troubled by this challenge, didn't respond in anger. Instead, he humbled himself and fell on his face before God. He knew this wasn't about him. This was about God's will being done. So he spoke to Korah and all his followers, saying, "In the morning, God will show who belongs to him and who is holy. He will bring them near to himself." Moses then instructed Korah and his men to take their censers, the special instruments used in the worship of God, and put fire and incense in them. Moses said that the Lord would show who was truly his servant. Moses also warned them, reminding them that Korah had already been given a special role as a Levite, but now he was trying to claim more than what God had given him. The next morning, as the people gathered to see what would happen, God spoke to Moses and told him to separate himself and the people from Korah and his followers. Moses warned the people to stay away from Korah's tents, and anyone who was close to them should leave, so they wouldn't be swallowed up by God's judgment. Korah and his followers didn't listen. They stood their ground, refusing to humble themselves. And then something unimaginable happened. The earth suddenly split open beneath them, and Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and their families were swallowed up alive, along with all their possessions. It was a powerful reminder that pride and rebellion against God come with severe consequences. But the story didn't end there. The 250 men who had joined Korah were also struck down by fire from God as a warning to the rest of Israel. This was a shocking and serious display of God's holiness, showing that no one can challenge his authority without facing judgment. After all this, the people of Israel were filled with fear. They realized that God had clearly shown that he alone chooses leaders, and no one should take what God has not given them. The lesson here is clear. Pride and rebellion against God's plan lead to destruction. We must be careful not to allow our desires for power or recognition to blind us to the truth. God has a plan for each of us, and it is not for us to fight over positions or roles that he has already decided. If this story spoke to your heart, type Amen in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this.